10 a.m. on the nose, and I get to be joined by none other than Jake Hamilton here in Studio 32.
Congratulations, Chicago Now. Yes.
Hey, we got a new audience. Control room's excited.
Yes.
We're excited.
It's such an interesting vibe because this is something that we've been doing on Fox Local and on digital for a few months now. We've had an amazing team and had some incredible moments, but this is the first time we've been
on the mothership.
On the mothership.
The mothership.
Yes. Before we've been in the lifeboat in the little dinghy paddling along, but now the sidecar. We've been in the sidecar.
Yeah, the little sidecar.
But we're on the bike now, baby.
Hey, it's great. It's great. So, hey, welcome for those who just got done watching our 9 a.m. hour right here on Fox 32. Welcome to a new little set of audience members. I love it.
Yes.
And Caitlin Cody, for some reason, she wanted to be there on the first day of her daughter's preschool. I don't know what kind of parenting that is.
You know what? We need to get her priority. What's more important, first day of your daughter's preschool or first day of Chicago Now on Fox 32? But you know what? Her missing out is my gain.
Exactly.
Because we've gone to the second tier Fox 32 blonde.
We pulled Jake off the waiver wire, everybody.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because no one's drafting me, but I'm right there for the pickings on waiver wire.
Delaney and Jenna, our intrepid Chicago Now producers, have created a little game. I think they don't think we know each other very well, so they made a little icebreaker for you and me, Jake. This is a little icebreaker for you and me.
You know that he's been to my home, right? Like we've shared a beverage in my home.
But I like this. Okay, they're calling it Movies Terribly Explained.
Yes.
Okay, and here's how it works, Jake. We're going to give each other a really bad description of a really famous movie, and the other person will have to try to figure out which one it is. Okay?
I'm excited about it.
All right, so we're talking plot lines that sound nothing like Hollywood blockbusters, but trust us, we have all seen these movies hundreds of times.
And it's funny because we also have, I think we all have people in our lives who, when they're trying to explain a movie to us, they do so in perhaps the worst possible way. And what's funny is going through these descriptions, I know people in my life who would describe these movies this way.
Just like that?
Just like this.
I picked
and you have to kind of decipher.
When I read these, my three, because I'm going to give you three, you're going to give me three. Yeah. I didn't connect the dots.
I think you're going to get it.
All right.
I'm going to go first.
All right.
A rich girl ditches her fiance for a guy who draws stick figures and spits over the side of a boat. They hang out for like 2 days before the ship immediately loses a fight with an iceberg. At the end, she hogs a perfectly good floating door while her new boyfriend becomes a popsicle.
Titanic. Did I get it?
Yes.
Yes. You went easy on me that one.
Well,
okay.
I feel like the key word there being iceberg. You hear iceberg?
Iceberg
basically deletes 98.4% of all movies.
I at first went Castaway because of Wilson. I didn't know he drew in the blood.
That was a bloody handprint. Well, yeah.
That was a bloody handprint.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, listen carefully.
All right, let's go.
Ready? A dad takes his kid out to look at some rocks, then immediately gets murdered by his jealous brother. The kid makes new friends who teaches him the friends teach him how to eat bugs and sing. Then comes back. There you go. You didn't even need to finish.
Lion King.
You got it. You got it. Lion King.
I love it. Which is, still also too. It's Hamlet.
Hamlet? It's a retelling of a Shakespearean classic.
Lion King is my all-time favorite animated movie.
It's so good.
I appreciate being given Lion King. It's
right from the beginning.
That Hans Zimmer's Oscar-winning score.
Oh my gosh. I could rewatch that.
Yeah, do you remember we had Hans Zimmer before we were, live on the mothership, as it were? We had Hans Zimmer on Chicago Now, and he talked about his inspiration for writing the score because he lost his son, or he lost his father when he was like 6 or 7 years old. So all the music for Lion King was very cathartic for him.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. All right, you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
Movie number 3. And I'm really curious, for those of you at home, let us know if you're getting these, if this is fun, at Jake's Takes on Instagram and Twitter.
At Anthony Ponce TV.
Yeah, let us know, and if you like this, we'll keep doing this. All right, 3 grown men forget how to adult in Las Vegas and spend an entire movie retracing their steps like it's a scavenger hunt. They lose the
Hangover.
See? He didn't even need it. He didn't even need it.
Hangover.
What does it say about me and Ponce that we don't even need a full description to get both the Lion King or the Hangover?
Oh, we got to run down Jenna's right here.
Whoa. Let's get
Jenna Carroll, everybody.
Wait, down.
Down.
Down. Take camera one.
Okay.
Look at that.
Let's
Come
see
on.
if Jake can tie it up.
Look
here.
at that. Here we go. Here we
All
go.
right, buddy, listen carefully. A man with a talent for running accidentally stumbles into every major event.
Forrest Gump? Should we read the whole thing? Like, is it?
I'm going to read the whole thing for the. Okay. A man with a talent for running accidentally stumbles into every major event of the 20th century. He invests in fruit, meets presidents, and starts a shrimp empire. You would have gotten it there, right, with the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. And there's a lot of sitting on benches. As
now,
we just saw
when they say he invests in a fruit company, do you know what they're talking about?
I remember Bubba Gump Shrimp
And
Company.
then Uncle Dan said, we invested in some kind of fruit company, and he said, we wouldn't have to worry about money no more. And I said, that's good. One less thing.
One less thing. That wasn't the shrimp company?
Apple.
He
invested in Apple. And it says,
right.
we invested in some kind of fruit company, or a fruit company, and then...
Bought stock in Apple, that's right.
And Lieutenant Dan said we wouldn't have to worry about money no more. I'm sorry, where's the scoreboard whenever I get it?
All right, it's 2-2.
Sit down, Jenna. All right, here we go. Fifth movie. You're going to get this. Off the first 5 words.
Here we go.
A teenager fakes being sick. Steals
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller. So
you guys went so easy on me.
This could have been like, okay, I appreciate us easing into it since it is our kind of inaugural thing. But okay, I'm going to read the whole thing. I'll read the whole thing. A teenager fakes being sick, steals his best friend's dad's car, and spends the day joyriding around Chicago while gaslighting every adult in his life. His sister tries to ruin him. His principal loses a war with a dog, and somehow it all ends with a city-wide parade. To be fair, these are not horrible. Like you guys actually did a very good job of explaining these movies.
Donkashane.
It's filmed right over there?
Right over there. Every time I see that the orange sculpture on Federal Plaza, I think about Ferris Bueller and actually I think about Cameron walking arm in arm with Sloan.
Oh, with Sloan. You know, and our producer Sloan, named after Sloan.
After Sloan Peterson?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And if you have not seen the movie that I love that I talked a lot about earlier this summer called The Life of Chuck.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet.
She's in it and is fantastic.
Wait, Mia Sarah's in it or Sloan, our producer?
No, Mia's in it. I would have made a much bigger deal if Sloan were in it.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Here we go.
You got to listen.
Just for the tie.
Sixth. This is for the tie. A grumpy green landlord just wants squatters off his property. Nice job. See, those
Come on.
I wouldn't have gotten Lion King, and I wouldn't have gotten Shrek.
No, that attitude you wouldn't have.
I think that Jenna and Delaney. Okay, final.
Wait.
Vanna White. Come on, Vanna.
Come on, Vanna.
Our resident Vanna White is going to come through.
It's a tie.
Jake.
Look at that.
They made it.
Well done. Well done,
Jenna.
Well done, Jenna.
All right, we have.
Wait, hold on, Jenna, come here really quick. There's something. What's that?
All right, that's a big rock.
Come on, look at that
on Jenna's finger. She is newly hitched.
Newly married.
Can we hear it? Jenna Carroll. Actually, there's something in the water here in Studio 32. FYI, everybody. Not only Jenna, Gabby, and our other intrepid producer Delaney. They've all.
Come on,
they're all going to be either. They've already heard or are going to be here in Wedding Bells.
I love that our intrepid leader got married, and we fit that in after Shrek. We're like, oh, we'll talk about this massive moment in your life, but first, let us explain Shrek badly.
All right, everybody, we have a really fun next hour here on Chicago Now. We have some incredible guests. First of all, I didn't even know there's a history Olympiad. The spelling bee, the Scripps National Spelling Bee gets all the spotlight, but there is a worldwide history Olympiad. It takes place in Paris.
Yes.
We have,
as one does.
As one goes.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's not going to take place in Boise.
No.
No offense to
our
Boise.
Friends in Boise.
Our friends are good friends in Boise.
However, we have the elementary school champion.
Wild.
Champion.
I have so many
Illinois. I love history. Okay, I'm a nerd.
Sure.
You are too.
Sure, of course.
We're out of the closet nerds, and we got questions for this very
because history, at the end of the day, history is great stories.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same reason that I think like you and I love movies, because movies are great stories, and history is, if told right, history can just be an amazing
story. I cannot wait to meet this young person who's going to be live in studio, and also the folks over at Lurie My mind is blown. Yesterday we covered, they did one of the very first triple surgeries, triple organ transplants in the country. Lung, heart, kidney.
Unbelievable.
Same patient. Success.
Unbelievable.
Okay, this patient is thriving.
Doesn't a story like that, it puts your bad day into perspective.
Gosh,
you know, like we're lucky enough to have jobs that we love, our dream jobs, working here, and we have those moments sometimes where we want to complain about this or that or something stupid, and you hear something like that and you just go, I'm just going to stop, because there are people out there that are performing miracles, actual miracles.
And I really hope everyone has that moment during this next conversation too, because we're going to meet the doctor, a mom, and her young one who actually underwent pre-birth surgery. All right, the child, they found out in the womb that this child had what's called spina bifida, which is when the spinal cord does not develop properly. They were able to intervene successfully before this child was even born. So we're going to meet the team behind that modern miracle, and also we are going to again meet this international, I should probably say, history Olympiad champion. That and much more. We got a jam-packed hour here on Chicago Now, so keep it right here, everybody. Look at this panel we have in the studio now. We are lucky enough to be joined by 4.5-year-old Olivia, who underwent a fetoscopic procedure for spina bifida. We have her mother, Lauren. They're both from Chicago. And then we have Dr. Eamon Shaban from the Chicago Institute for Fetal Health at Lurie Children's Hospital. Welcome to all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story, which is super inspiring. Lauren, I actually want to start with you. Okay, take me through from the beginning. She's 4.5.
Yes.
Okay, she looks to be just absolutely thriving right now. We just had a good conversation during the commercial break. I learned all about her favorite fruit. Whole strawberry.
Whole strawberry.
Whole strawberry. She doesn't like them sliced.
Right?
And I also like whole pears because you can't eat the pits.
Whole pears.
You cannot eat the pits. She's already, learning to consume fruit properly.
Right, responsibly.
Lauren, all right, so take me through from the beginning. When you were pregnant, how you found out about her condition and kind of how you responded.
Yeah, so at around 15 weeks I had the AFP test and my numbers came back positive, which is not like diagnostic, but just indicates there could be a neural tube defect. After that I saw an MFM who did a high-level ultrasound and then confirmed the diagnosis that she did in fact have open spina bifida. So from there, that was kind of like the diagnosis day, as it's known for moms and dads. It's pretty shattering, because when you get pregnant, you kind of have this whole world that you picture that's going to happen, and then that disappears, and you don't really know how to put the pieces back together. I was very fortunate. The MFM I had knew Dr. Shaban personally, and so he referred us to the Chicago Institute for Fetal Health, and that's kind of where we found ourselves the next step.
Okay, let's talk about Dr. Shaban. Run us through exactly what spina bifida is, and from a medical perspective, your reaction when you found out about Olivia's diagnosis.
Yeah, so spina bifida is an opening in the spine. Typically, the spine develops as a closed cylinder, and during development, it doesn't quite close, usually in the lower back. And so you find the spine is open, and the spinal cord is exposed to the outside. That's spina bifida.
Okay, and what are the, like if it's untreated, what happens if it's untreated?
Yeah, it has obviously a lot of neurologic complications as a result of it. Complications with leg weakness, sometimes leg paralysis. But it also has complications in the brain that can lead to accumulation of fluid on the brain called hydrocephalus. And also the back of the brain, the cerebellum, can sink down into the spine, something called the Chiari malformation or hindbrain herniation.
Okay, so you guys actually intervened. Look at you. Look at you on the beach.
It was me on the ballet thing.
Oh, that was you. Do you do ballet?
Yeah, I do ballet, and I wish to do it again today.
Are you going to do it again today?
Yeah, maybe.
Can you tell everyone real quick, Olivia, how long it's going to take you to turn 5? That long.
That long.
Yeah, that long. She said it was going to take her all day to turn 5. So you intervened before Olivia was even birthed. How does that even work?
Yeah. So there's a lot of counseling and discussion, and we have a large team that's involved, and it's led by Dr. Robin Bowman, who's an amazing neurosurgeon. Olivia's neurosurgeon and her team. But basically, in mid-gestation, just after that, around 23, 24, 25 weeks, we'll actually go in through an incision in the mom's abdomen, and then with tiny instruments, enter the uterus and repair, just like we do after birth, repair the back to cover the spinal cord, to close it, put it back inside, and then cover it with layers of tissue, just like we would do after birth, but we do it before birth.
On the developing
babies. Yeah.
That is unbelievable. Lauren, what was that experience like for you? Is Olivia your first?
She is our first.
Oh my gosh, okay. So you had not even gone through.
Right.
Take us through that day.
It's a miracle what they do. It's truly miraculous. So yeah, we had the surgery. Recovery is a bit rough because you're trying to stay pregnant as long as you possibly can, against all odds, it seems, and you're kind of stuck on bed rest, like very minimal activity. So yeah, we stayed pregnant till 34 weeks. I think my water broke at 33 and 2. We were admitted, and then she came
so
at
about
34
7 weeks early.
Yeah, which is a bit, I think, for the surgery, pretty good. Yeah. So.
And what has her journey been like since then? I understand this was not the only surgery.
No, so we were in the NICU for about 2 months. So that was a little rough with preemie issues, and then her closure was still healing when she got out. And since then, she's had about 11 surgeries. 2 of those are ear tubes, but the other ones are all related to spina bifida. So he mentioned hydrocephalus, so she has a shunt in her head. And then she had a detethering. She's had some kidney issues, so she's had kidney surgeries as well. But obviously, she's whatever she's doing.
She is looking at herself in the monitors. We've got monitors here in the studio, and I think she likes.
Yeah, she's very happy to be on camera.
Can you talk about some of the most meaningful milestones that she has hit in her? You're happy. We're happy too. We're happy to have you too.
Yeah. When you met her, you should probably able to talk your ear off forever. She had a speech delay until she was probably 3, probably like related.
Obviously making up for lost time.
She has completely made up for lost time. Her first steps were really incredible. She took them a little after she turned 2 and started walking by herself. She then had to have a detethering. It was in a summer where we had 5 surgeries in 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
Intense. But then after that, after like all the surgeries were done, she started walking, and she's literally never stopped. She played soccer on her Park District soccer team, ballet. She's runs around with her friends and her sister. She's a very happy, very silly, amazing girl.
Dr. Shaban, when you hear about these milestones, which ones to you, from a medical perspective, were the ones where you said, oh wow, she is now on track?
Yeah, you know, we just are part of the very beginning of life, and our part is to just ensure the best possible start. And as I hear all these things here and look at Olivia, I realize it's just being a normal kid in a normal family and doing all the things that her parents have always dreamed that she would do, and all the things that she'll do in life. And so it's all beautiful and wonderful.
I love hearing about it. Now, in terms of her forward trajectory, I understand there have been, more than 10 surgeries at this point total. Some of them didn't have to do with the spina bifida. I mean, I know a lot of kids who had those tubes.
Yeah.
Oh man. What is the near future look like for Olivia?
Yeah, it's a large team of folks at the Spina Bifida Center at Lurie. Been doing this for 60 years, again led by Dr. Bowman. The goal is an independent, successful, happy, healthy life. And that requires maintenance of care, multidisciplinary care from orthopedic surgeons, urologists, neurosurgeons. And so it's continued care throughout to allow her to be able to go to school and continue to grow through to college and to become an independent adult. And I think she's really going to be just fine.
I would say so, based on talking to Olivia for a short time. Lauren, what has this whole journey done to your perspective on resilience, on family, on your own birth story, which you had a preconceived notion of what it might unfold, how it might unfold? What are your takeaways here?
I guess just being, I'm much more aware that anything can happen, right? But that something Dr. Bowman, that is mentioned, has said to me in the NICU when I was hounding her for specific answers about how the future would go, as I am wont to do. She just told me something to the effect of, well, if that happens, then we'll just manage. And she said it, if you know Dr. Bowman, she said it so matter-of-factly that I was like, oh, yeah, we will just manage. And I think it's kind of taught our family that with amazing people like Dr. Shaban and Lurie Children and the Chicago Institute for Fetal Health and all these amazing teams, and Olivia and how great she is in our family, that, we'll manage.
I love this attitude. It is so inspiring to hear from you here. Now, Dr. Shaban, what do you think this whole situation, I mean, my mind is blown that you guys can actually intervene on that level that early at 24, 25 weeks. What does this say about the future of fetal care in terms of advances that are happening here in 2025?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, you can see that Olivia has an amazing mom, right, that will do anything for her child. And we want to lessen the burden on her mother to have, rather than having surgery, to have a minimally invasive procedure, which we're doing now, and in the future to have less and less invasive procedure so it's safer for mom and better for the baby. And in the future, we hope to continue to innovate, and someday, hopefully, we'll have a shot or a pill for this, and I can just retire and just show up at the family reunions and enjoy the beauty of what we're seeing. But really an amazing thing.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you have a long and successful career, but that that would be kind of nice to have it in pill form. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. Olivia, you are a delight. Do you like seeing yourself in the monitor there, Olivia? Are you waving to yourself? Oh, she is just the cutest. Thank you all so much for joining us, for sharing your story. Is there any, Doctor? Is there any place online, perhaps, where folks can go to kind of learn more about this? If parents want to look into this further, if they may be facing similar challenges.
Yeah, we have a website, the Chicago Institute for Fetal Health at Lurie Children's in Northwestern Medicine. If you just search Chicago Institute for Fetal Health, it'll come right up, or the Lurie Children's website. And then we always have a nurse, an experienced nurse always available to chat.
Love it. Dr. Shaban, Lauren, Olivia, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here on Chicago Now. We so appreciate it. Let's have her take us to break. Can you wave goodbye to everybody? We're going to be back with more Chicago Now right after this.
Nothing. In the city, you can see. Not a suburb, just a city.
Just the city. He's from the city. We are in the presence of greatness.
We have such a good guest that we're not even waiting for the segment to start for us to start talking. That's how interesting he is.
We like to talk during the commercial breaks. Theo, since they couldn't hear when we were commercial, tell us about yourself. How old are you? Where do you go to school? Where are you from? Where do you go to school?
So I am, well, 10 years old. And so I am in 5th grade right now. I actually have my first day today. I'm missing
Wait,
part of it.
Today's your first day of school?
Yes.
You get to come here and be
you're
on
spending
TV?
it with us?
Yes.
Did you have to explain to the school and to your teachers why you could not be at the first day of school?
No, my mom just sent an email.
That's all you got to do
That's
these
all,
days.
send an email.
And Mom, email.
Come on.
Can you have your
I gotta
people?
be on TV.
Can your people?
Yeah, can your
email
people
my
call their people?
Because I can't be at school today. By the way, Jake, did you guys
I did. So Theo and I wear the same size. We wear the same size suit. So we got, I mean, look, we're basically, now if anything, so Theo and I clearly shop from the same store. Now, are you feeling a little underdressed?
A little bit.
Because I knew Theo was going to be here, and I dressed to match.
You guys look
at us.
Pretty
My man.
slick. I'm going to have to give his shoes the edge.
Yeah, well, look at those.
And
I don't know if we can see that the shoes are incredible.
And the sock
Theo,
look.
not only are you an expert in history, you're clearly an expert in fashion as well. We got to give a little bit of background. So we talk a lot about, what kids are doing on their summer vacation, right? Oh, we're gonna hang out at a water park, or we're gonna hang out with our friends. Xbox, a lot of video games. Not Theo.
Maybe some YouTube.
Actually, I do.
And there's nothing wrong with those things, and those things are great.
But you obviously balance it out. You have a passion for history. So here's why we have Theo Greep here in studio. He is the first ever student from Illinois to bring home the honor of elementary champion in the World Championship.
Yep, that's me at 12 a.m.
And at 12 a.m. Where are you?
I'm in Paris.
You're in Paris.
That's where we had dinner.
Come on.
That's me winning.
Look at that.
Look at the top of the podium.
Come on. Look
How
at the
long
medals.
ago was this? How long ago
this was like about a month ago. This was July.
Okay. So tell us about how you ended up at the top of that podium. Tell us about the events you were a part of and how it all worked.
Okay, and this competition, it's like 10 days. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And there's like a ton of different events, but the main event, the International History Olympiad, which is what I won, is made up of 3 parts. There's a 2-hour-long multiple choice exam called the battery.
Okay.
There's a written exam that's like 70 minutes, and then there's a B that goes for the entire time.
And how long did the B go?
Well,
Like when you say entire time,
well,
like how long
there's
is
different
that?
rounds. So the first there would be like preliminaries, quarters, semis. They have the quarters, semis, and finals all in one day. Yeah.
Did it work like a spelling bee? Like you were asked a history trivia question? Is that how it worked? Or how did the B part
It
work?
works kind of like Jeopardy, where it's like you have a button, and then the difference of Jeopardy, you don't give the question, you give the answer.
Right.
And then what you have to do is that when you give the answer, you have to first press the button, of course, but you can do it in the middle of the question. So it's like
like Jake was doing in our game.
Exactly
he was
right.
answering in the middle.
You missed it. We had a movie trivia game before you got here.
For any of the questions, do you remember hitting the button before the question was even asked?
Nope.
That's okay. I mean, don't say nope like that. You're the champion. I have a question for you. History can mean so much.
Yeah.
You could do a year's worth of history on the city of, I'm sure you have, and you could do it on just on Chicago alone. You could do a year. How do you sort of try to capture, because you never know what they're going to ask you. How do you try to make sure you know a little bit of everything to be prepared for? I mean, history could mean anything.
Yeah, so you really have to do a lot of everything. Like I did some reading, I did some like studying. My mom gave me kind of like lectures kind of. But probably one of the biggest helps was YouTube videos.
Oh, YouTube
Really?
videos.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Hey, is
they
there-
like
is
really
there-
helped me get an edge because they always give like a lot of detail.
What are some of the good channels for parents out there who's, hey, I want to be on YouTube? What channels would you suggest that will teach you a lot?
Well, the best starter one, in my opinion, is Oversimplified. Definitely, 100%.
That's what it's called, oversimplified?
Yeah, but
Sounds like it's right in your
Yeah,
wheelhouse,
you
Jake.
have no idea.
And then also the Drew Janelle is pretty good. And then also...
Wait, Drew...
It's called Drew Janelle.
Drew Janelle.
It's usually like history memes, but it's always like, they always ask some of that stuff. But then also another good thing, another one is Things I Care About. That's a good one.
Ah, I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
Things I care about.
Is
Yeah.
there an era of
There's
history that just maybe you gravitate toward that just fascinates you more than maybe any other period of history?
Well, one of the most fascinating, in my opinion, I really like Ancient China.
Oh, why?
Really?
It's one of my favorites. I don't know, I just really like it. I've always been fascinated.
What sticks out about ancient China that you like? Can you give us like a story or a fact or two?
Okay, so did you know that, you know the Three Kingdoms period?
The Three Kingdoms period?
Yeah, in
I
China.
actually don't.
There was
Come on, Anthony.
oh my god.
Dynasties, right?
Yeah, there was actually 3 dynasties.
Okay,
and
I know
because
the
there
Ming.
were dynasties, the Ming is like medieval.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not ancient.
You're embarrassing me in
Do I
front
need
of
to sit
Theo.
in the corner? Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
Okay,
What were the 3
so here's
ancient dynasties?
Well, the Three Kingdoms period is part of a period of division in China because the way that Chinese civilization works at this time, it's first you have a powerful dynasty that has like a powerful ruler that works for the people, but then he dies, and then one of the relatives is a different ruler that gets corrupt. And then there's a lot of corruption. There's like this thing called court culture, which is like really hard to explain. There's like a few good videos that about it, but it works like this. Let's say you're the son of a Chinese emperor.
Sure.
Let's say your dad died. Now you're the emperor, but you're a kid, and you don't know how to rule over a massive dynasty. So everyone you could wants to help. I mean, steal your power.
Yes.
Oh, see, it's
And
a
to
good
navigate
story.
that
It's a good story.
territory as a child.
This is what led to the downfall of multiple Chinese dynasties. Almost all of them, except the Song. You guys were just invaded by the Mongols.
Okay. So,
were there any, over the course of while you were in Paris, were there any questions about this era of history that whenever you saw the question, you're like, yes, I know
that.
this,
That's
I got
my
this.
wheelhouse.
Oh yeah, so this wasn't. So there was one question. It was about Empress Dao de Shishi, and then she was actually in more of the modern period Chinese history, but it's like they did ask about her. They got it right at the beat.
you did get it right.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Empress Dao de Shishi. She was the person that overthrew one of the reformist emperors, Quang Shu, when she seized power for the 3rd time, led the Chinese into the Boxer Rebellion, where they got pummeled by every single great power, including the Italians.
Really? What year was about what
This was
that?
the turn of the century, 1900.
Okay, because I was going to say Italy wouldn't go back that far, but that is unbelievable. How do you hold all this information in your brain?
I really don't know.
It's a fair answer.
Do you have any, so I have a son, by the way, I love your name, you know why?
Why?
My son's name is Theo.
Oh.
And he is in 4th grade right now.
Oh.
Do you have any advice for other kids to do well in a topic, to hold information in their brain and do well in school?
Well, really just repetition, doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's gonna make it so like even if you forgot the first time, you're gonna get it the second. And then once you remember that fact and you go back and see something like a video that like has a little mention to it, you're going like, wait a minute, that's like
triggers you.
that.
It triggers the
triggers
memory.
you. It triggers the memory.
Got it. Do you have any other strategies?
So really, what you have to do is kind of like in the study with like kind of get like try reading, lecturing, flashcards, do every single possible thing, and then to supplement that, get any information you can get your hands on, whether it's like your friend telling you something at school that they don't remember because it was 1st grade, or if you see it from like, or if you see like a plaque on like a random building and on like the other side of the world. It doesn't matter. If it's useful, try to remember it.
That is unbelievable.
You know, there are a lot of parents who are, I'm assuming, probably watching at home home who maybe struggle with the fact that their kids think that history is boring. You know, a lot of you grow up, you always hear kids saying, "Oh, I don't want to learn about history. It's a thing in the past." What advice, I mean, clearly history fascinates you. What advice would you have maybe for parents to maybe make history come alive for their kids so that it's not boring for them, so that they see the value in it as you do?
Well, probably get them introduced to a lot of good YouTube channels. That's how I actually got introduced to history. It was actually a channel that I don't really watch anymore. It's called Simple History. It was still, I was watching its World War II video. That was the first one I watched, and it was that video that got me into history.
Really? Yeah. And what was it about that video? Do you remember what it was?
The animation, really.
Oh, that's interesting. That's
Simple History.
Well, I found a lot of other history channels that I might think is better, but it's like they all share one thing. They're all animated. All these animated things are so much easier to learn. It's like for us visual learners.
Yeah, I was at the visual.
Can I ask you this? Okay, a lot of times when my kids are on YouTube, there's a lot of suggested videos that pop up.
Yeah.
Right? And their temptation is to stop what they're doing and click on the side because, oh, that one looks more interesting, and they don't even get through the video that they're already watching. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that used to happen to me. But
so how do you like resist going to the next thing? And does YouTube serve it up for you nicely so that you just watch in order?
Well, here's what I really do. I really just start with a good video that looks interesting, and then I get to those other videos that says suggested. So, because what you do is that on YouTube, it's like you watch the video, and then you could either see other things from that same channel that you might like, or exit out at home and like you could see some of the other videos from the same channels you were watching.
I would love for him to leave us with the list, because I think he's mentioned 3 or 4 channels.
I'm fascinated. I want to see some of these
videos. There's like a lot. Another good one, Call Me Ezekiel. It's like really good. Also historically, it's pretty good. Blue Jays, pretty good. All those guys.
I'm intrigued because we were talking about like history's great story. I have a quick question. You know, obviously you're fascinated with the era of the Chinese dynasties. Is there a period of Chicago history that most interests you, that you love? Because Chicago has such an incredible
history. Probably like kind of the era between the Gilded Age and Progressive era.
Okay.
Probably
and what happened during that time?
That's what 1920s was the Gilded Age in Chicago. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do I even know? Because I associate
the Gilded Age was like the 1860s and 70s to the turn of the century. Because then at the turn of the century, Theodore Roosevelt becomes president. Don't question why he shares the same name as me. After McKinley died, and he's really progressive, very progressive. And he literally has a nickname, the Trust Buster. Like, if you have that nickname, people are gonna be like, oh no, this guy's going after my company.
Exactly.
I gotta like do something.
Yeah, the Trust Buster.
Wow.
Kind of reminds me of Jake Hamilton, to be honest.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
The old trust. Don't be
jealous of my newfound friendship with Theo.
I'm a little jealous. You know what I mean? So that's interesting. What the Gilded Age of Chicago. So this is pre-fire or post-fire?
Well, this is actually both, really.
Okay.
Because Chicago is like able to get back on its feet, but the one industry where they don't is in beer. Because in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there was this one beer baron who had like a lot of they controlled the beer trade there. But after all his rivals in Chicago got in the fire, he had control over the entire Midwestern beer business.
Really?
Wow.
And that legacy just survives to this day with the Milwaukee Brewers. And I know Leinenkugels is up there.
Yep. I actually drink root beer. It's like a soda that's like kind of similar. I like a type that I usually get from say when I get at a restaurant. It would say like a fire brewed in Milwaukee.
There you go.
Oh, that's cool.
In 11 years, that's going to change. All right, Theo. Okay, the future for you, buddy. What do you see yourself doing? Are you going to do the Olympiad next summer?
Of course.
Oh,
okay, you're going to do it.
Oh, you're going back to back?
I'm going to do it till high school.
Wow.
Well, the Olympiad, though, it does it every 2 years, so.
Sure.
But Nationals is every year.
Will it be in, where will you go next year? Is it always Paris?
No, it's actually not. But so I think that next year it's either going to be like Athens, Berlin, or maybe London. But they've already, the first one was Berlin, so they might not do it. And Yeah, but they might do something in like the Far East, like Tokyo or something, because it's like they haven't really done a Far Eastern city yet.
Theo, we look forward to following your entire journey. We're going to let you get back to school.
Yes.
I'm sure your teachers at Francis Park are like, where's Theo? So we're going to let you get back, but it was a pleasure to have you on the show. It was a pleasure to meet you. Congratulations on your success.
Thank
Put her
you.
there.
My man.
Put her
My
there.
man. My man.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
we're back with another very special guest. When we come back, he's going to be running us through the state of the Chicago real estate market. Normally fall is thought of as kind of a slow time real estate-wise. Matt Larissy is going to be up next talking about why this may actually be a strong fall.
Ooh, I've got questions.
All right, stay with us. We got more Chicago Now
Theo!
right after this. Theo, put it there once again.
Theo.
Leaf good. Welcome back, everybody. When you think about fall, you might picture drop in temps.
Sure.
You know, perhaps I'm picturing Jake Hamilton with the beard and maybe a plaid shirt, earth tones.
Well, a flannel, and then and then an axe, for chopping wood. I am going to my first drive-in theater experience on Friday.
You've never been to the drive-in?
I've never been to the drive-in. Never been to a drive-in theater, and because I've always wanted to. I feel like they're kind of coming back around and being we're so often.
Well, there's one in Chicago.
That's what I'm going to. That's where I'm going to. It's just okay. It's that way.
West.
But and then I wanted my first drive-in theater experience to be. I wanted the movie. I didn't want to no knock to like Freaky or Friday, but I don't want to see Freaky. I don't want Freaky or Friday to be my first drive-in. So I found what I think is the like a great drive-in movie. I'm seeing the 1978 John Carpenter classic Halloween. Halloween.
At the drive-in.
At the drive-in. Right? Tell me that's not fall.
Idea.
That's a way to tie back.
That's a great.
Tell me that's not fall.
That's a great little.
Well, that's what it is.
Thank you for the idea.
That's what and Daenerys is going to come. Daenerys can sit in the back of the Bronco. And
I'm already jealous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you might think Halloween, drive-in, earth tones, Jake Hamilton, beard, flannel. But what about drop-in home prices, everybody? What about it would be a shock to me. The real estate market this season may not be what we all expect. And joining us now via Zoom, friend of the show, Mr. Matt Larissy. Matt, it is always good to check in with you, sir.
I appreciate you guys letting me on here. I got to admit, I'm a little disappointed I don't see either of you guys in flannels, but maybe next time.
It's coming soon, my friend.
Yes, indeed.
Trust me, it is coming.
Yes, indeed. All right, Matt is here to help us break down the current state of the fall housing market here in Chicago. What would you say is the headline?
I'm calling it a fall push.
Okay.
So a lot of people think fall markets, it's going to be bad, and it's just kind of like what people assume, that the market's going to slow down. And one of two things normally happens in a fall market. You either see a frightful fall or a fall push. Last year we knew it would be a frightful fall due to the election. People get a little bit nervous to spend a bunch of money when you have like things that could be a little bit controversial or uncertainty, let's call it. But this year, the coast is clear. I think people are feeling pretty good, and we had a really busy summer season, and you couldn't get anybody down. So I think we're going to see a really strong fall push. I actually think the market's going to be better in September, October than it was in July and August.
Matt, I'm always so fascinated to talk with you because you're someone who, you have your finger on the pulse of the real estate market, not just in Chicago, but I think all over the country. At what point can you sort of kind of, I guess for lack of a better metaphor, like reading the tea leaves to sort of say, okay, clearly because X, Y, and Z have happened, this is what this upcoming season's going to be like? When do you start getting a vibe for what the fall is going to be?
About 6 months out.
Really?
So about 6 months out, I can kind of tell which way the wind's going to blow. And, I look for signs, and then I use that to try to anticipate where it's going to be. So let's use an example like the fact of the summer, right? We knew that a lot of people had these delay marriages, right, because of COVID, and people couldn't nail down any venues. So we knew that this was going to be a very busy wedding season. So what happens when you have very busy wedding seasons? You have a lot of people traveling. You have bachelorette, bachelor parties. A lot of people just got stuff going on. They also were talking a lot in February, March about like how this was going to be the busiest travel season we've ever seen, that more people are going to Europe. I mean, you guys did also, and a lot of people did news things about like how a lot of the busy tourist areas were completely slammed.
Right.
And they were overbooked. So like I look at that and like, okay, well, if everybody's gone and nobody can sit there and be in town for the weekend, because I kept asking people like, how many times are you in town this summer? And everybody's like, oh, maybe once or twice. I'm like, okay, well, if nobody's ever in town over the weekend, like how many people are gonna be buying, right? So I anticipate that we'd have like a slow back half of the summer, but then people are still gonna have to move. So then I was like, okay, well, if people are still gonna have to move and they're not gonna be around, like there's really not much to do in the fall other than go to a drive-in movie or like catch a football game, right? So it's like, well, maybe we're gonna strap back in and start buying again. And we're starting to already see that. We've seen inventory already spike within the first couple of days of, since, Labor Day hit. And I think it's the writing's on the wall.
Okay.
These are all the things I look for.
Well, let's dive in.
It's like reading a stock. It sounds not unlike the stock market.
He's got the forecast. Yeah. All right, so let's get hyper local. You said inventory's already up just in the last couple days since Labor Day holiday. Break it down kind of in neighborhoods. I remember one of the last times we checked in with you, Matt, you said River North and some of the downtown areas, tons of inventory as opposed to getting into the neighborhoods and the suburbs. What are you seeing right now?
I mean, we definitely seen, first off on a macro level, just a big spike in inventory since, Monday, right? So like, Tuesday and today we're already seeing a bunch of properties hit the market. Why is that? It's like I always say, we as humans, we use holidays as deadlines, right? So like, okay, well, I want to list, but let's just kind of pick this up and let's have everything prepped to make it live right after the holiday. So we've seen a lot of that stuff spike. We are still seeing more inventory in the downtown markets, like call it anywhere from South Loop up the Gold Coast, including the West Loop, where if you're under $1 million, you're hovering around about like 4.6 to 5 months of inventory. But the big one to look at is if you get above $1 million, you're hovering around 8 to 10 months of inventory, depending on which neighborhood. That's a lot of inventory. 4 months is a balanced market. You look at what I call the outskirts. Let's call it West Town up to Old Irving, and then pretty much like Lincoln Square down to Old Town. If you're under $1 million, you got about 1 to 1.4 months of inventory, and if you go above $1 million, you're still looking at like maybe 2 to 3 months of inventory. So those are still crazy, seller markets. We don't have enough inventory to meet the demand. We typically see pricing growth kind of slow down in the fall, so I think some of the buyers are going to get relief on that front in the outskirts, which have been really hot. And I think if you're looking for a little bit of a deal, downtown market, so where you're going to get the best price.
How about the suburbs?
The suburbs is still on a different level.
Okay.
We are seeing more price decreasing happening a little bit, right? So like your entry level houses, specifically single family homes, are still performing extremely well. Okay, extremely well. Like in every single neighborhood you can, right outside anywhere outside of like striking distance of Chicago, right? Let's call it like under an hour drive, right? But like what we're seeing is like their luxury market's starting to take a little bit of hit. You're seeing market time kind of start to build, et cetera. And I do think that even though we're going to see a fall push, I think that if you're in like more of a luxury market, this will be a good time to get a little bit of a better discount on that house than you would have maybe in the spring season.
Matt, you mentioned sort of, 6 months out being able to kind of read the tea leaves and sort of figure out what direction things are going. Not trying to put you on the spot right now, but is there a neighborhood in Chicago that maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe not even within the next 5 years, but is there a neighborhood where you're intrigued to see what might happen because, everyone's looking for what's going to be the hot new neighborhood that you're thinking, I just want to keep my eye on this one because maybe?
I'm telling you right now, I said last time that if I had to bet, and I will put a large sum of the money against anybody willing to bet me, that the most depleted areas right now is Gold Coast, River North, Streeterville, and I think those have the most room to grow. Guys, like Cranes did an article last week about how the prices have gone back to 1990. Literally 1990.
Whoa, wow.
Okay, like what other big city in the country has seen prices falling down to the 90s? Okay, like, so if you want to bet, it's like, okay, well, last time I checked, people still love the city, and we're seeing a lot of what I call boomerang buyers. So a lot of people who moved away during the pandemic, and they moved to Florida or Texas, one of these places, and now they're kind of coming back, and they're starting to buy these high-rises again. So, you got prices that dropped in some cases as extreme as the 90s. Do I think that's going to come back up? Yeah. So when we look at, like, where do I think the most price growth will grow, it's going to be where the area that got hit the hardest and where prices came down the most.
I actually, that tracks. I was on the phone, just quick side note here. I was on the phone with a friend over Labor Day weekend, and he was saying the city was just jumping.
Yeah.
I moved to the burbs,
sure,
Matt, so I don't, you know what I mean? I'm in suburb land at this point, but he said, we talked about the pandemic and how a lot of folks said the city kind of lost its identity a little bit, and now, hearing that over Labor Day weekend, that it was. Did you find that?
I lived in Streeterville for many years and lived in Streeterville during the pandemic and saw exactly what Matt's talking about, and now this idea of, oh, that's interesting. Maybe
90s prices, and 90s it's coming, prices, and Chicago's getting its groove back a little bit.
I talked with Matt last time we had him on the show. I was asking for advice on like when I know when to buy, and it kind of sounds. When you talk about sort of like something like Streeterville, Gold Coast being in 90s prices, how long do we have to take advantage of that before other people are seeing it and the pendulum is swinging in the other direction?
Less than 24 months. I think we bottomed out. I think the light is at the end of the tunnel. Inventory levels have continually to go down. The only people who are really selling, especially if you get above $1 million, is what I call the Great Reset. People have reset their expectations and pricing back to pre-pandemic pricing. And now's a great time to get in on a deal. This is when you could get a price where you look back 5 years from now and be like, I can't believe those guys were able to get it for so cheap. And then I'll be able to comment and say like, well, you didn't believe that the market would come back, so you didn't have the courage to be able to kind of take advantage of the marketplace. Remember, like, you don't get rich in good markets. You get rich in bad markets. When there's blood in the water, that's when you strike. And if the blood is, heaviest right now in the city, that's where you got the most room to kind of make a couple bucks.
Matt, let me ask you this. I have two families very close to me in my life right now that are in the exact same predicament, and they keep getting outbid. Okay, they will make what they think are very strong offers. They're looking in the suburbs. Okay, they're looking for single-family homes in the suburbs right now, both of them. They will make an offer well above asking price. In some cases, $150,000 above asking, even in one case, $200,000. And what has been happening to them is that they will get not necessarily outbid on the amount, but somebody comes in with a cash offer that the seller says, all right, I'm going with the cash and not you guys. What would be your advice to people in that situation?
Well, this is a big thing that we see with all of our clients as well. And what I tell everybody is, first off, if you want to get a little bit of our pricing, and this is why we do so well in the fall, is I punt a lot of buyers. I say, well, if you're sick of getting outbid, buy in the fall. Because even though we're going to have a fall push, the market's going to be really, I think, September, October will be better than June, July. July and August. It's not going to be anywhere near as hot as like January to April, okay? So it's like, this is when you could get a little bit of a better price. And, if you're kind of more getting in outbid a lot, you just have to remember that you're going to have less demand. The other thing you have to do is look at asking price as kind of like a suggestion. And I think this is a big problem a lot of buyers go into, is they see something's listed at $600 and they're like, well, I went to $650, so I went 50 over, and I thought I'd get a great offer. And what people don't understand is what a lot of agents do is they underprice it for a reason, right? So if like you tell me like, hey, I want $650 for it, I may say, let's list it at $600. because we might get like 800 for that place. Because people, when people see something such a great deal, people go absolutely crazy way over ask price. So what I would do is don't always like kind of just like look at the ask price. Look at what's been selling in the area and base it off of that. But if you automatically add like $50,000 to $75,000 off the ask price originally, so if you see something 600, you're like, okay, I know that's listed at 675. We get a bid starting at 675. This will be less stressful because you won't be thinking you're overpaying for it as much. Okay. The second thing you do is you waive your mortgage contingency, right? So every single deal is contingent on financing. Okay. Now, if you waive your financing contingency, that makes your offer as good as cash. Okay. So now you can compete with cash offers. And this is the big problem that people don't do is they don't waive that. So if you go against cash offers, you're going to choose cash all day. But if you're putting down 5% earnest money, you're waiving your right to financing. It's like, well, listen, it's as good as a cash offer. It's as good as it gets. And that's the way you're going to be able to compete to win in those areas.
Good advice there. I'll be passing that along.
Yeah, Matt, we just have just about 60 seconds, but you used a word that I thought was really interesting just a few moments ago. You said you got to have the courage. How much does courage play a part in just making the right decision and making that jump?
It's everything, right? So I always say that real estate's a game. Those who know how to play win and those who don't lose, right? So like everybody mentally looks at real estate in some sort of way and like they can talk themselves out of it. And that's a big problem to watch for in the fall market, right? So like I talk about the fall market, the fall buyer is the one to always watch out for. The fall buyer is the chicken little syndrome. They always think the world's going to end next year. I know this can be terrible, so like I'm not going to be able to take advantage of the marketplace today. So what I tell everybody right now is don't fall into that fall buying category. Just note that like, you know, this is the best time to buy. And if you want to get a better pricing before the spring, kind of take advantage of it. But don't listen to all the haters out there that can tell you like it's not a good time to buy in fall.
Wow.
Matt Larissy breaking it down for us
fascinated.
as always.
Fascinated.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Once again, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Anytime, guys. I'll come in next time. We'll all be in flannels.
Exactly.
That's
it.
Cider, okay?
Start the
you know
beard
what?
now, baby.
Let's go. Let's go with Daenerys and Jake out to the
Let's
drive-in
go.
in his Bronco.
Come
and watch
on, man.
Halloween, the three of us.
Yes.
Yeah, let's get it going.
Yeah, I'm in.
Have a great one,
Thanks,
Matt.
Matt.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
I see Tia Ewing and I see Anita Blanton. They're waiting
That
in
means
the
things
wings
are about to get
for
better.
yet
Things
another
getting
hour
better.
of Chicago Now. Thank you, Jake.
My man.
Appreciate
Love you,
it.
buddy.
Have a great rest of your, what is it, Wednesday today?
Yes.
Great rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you right back here mañana.
Fox. Good morning, and thank you so much for tuning in to the second hour of Chicago Now. I'm Tia Ewing.
And I'm Anita Blanton. The ladies in red today.
I mean,
I'm loving this.
This is crazy.
And we didn't plan it, just so you know. We did not plan it, but I love it. It's a lot of.
Yeah, we got the red bottoms. We got that in common, and red dresses. So, yeah.
We're doing it.
We did not do this on purpose, but we are happy to be here. We're happy to be live and on TV for the very first time. It is the first day.
And I'm filling in for Gabby, just so you know. She'll be back. She's got a little something going on this weekend.
She's getting married.
Yeah, she'll come back glowing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, but we have a really jam-packed show this time around, and we're really kicking off this show with a bang. If you've ever watched Real Housewives, any of the franchises, you know Luann de Lesseps. She is amazing.
OGs.
Yes, OG Countess. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
And she really has some really amazing lines along the way on that show. One that I remember vividly. I had to write it down. She said, "Even Louis Vuitton makes mistakes." Do you remember that one? She was talking about somebody's shoes looking like Herman Munster shoes.
I don't remember her lines. I remember her falling in the bushes one time. Yeah, and I remember she's come over here before, you know, when she was in town in Chicago. And let me tell you, from the minute she stepped in the doors, even the escalators downstairs were just kind of glistening a little bit more, you know. And she did a whole little video on just on the escalator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A queen was in the building, really a countess.
Yes, a countess.
So we'll talk with her. We are also huddling up, though. You know, it's football season.
Yes, it is.
You a big football fan?
I love football.
Absolutely. The weather's kind of starting to work with us a little bit more. So, of course, we're going to be talking with the Bears about what they're doing to now encourage more girls, love it, to get in the game. So they have been expanding their girls flag football programs throughout the area. They did a whole bunch over the summer with several different high schools coming out to Hallis Hall. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. But there's somebody who knows way more about sports than maybe even we do.
Apparently coffee too is his new game, and his name is Dan Katz. He's with Barstool, and he's joining us right now. Dan, are you there? Can you hear us?
I'm here. Can you see me?
Big Cat in the house.
Hey. I'm blowing my red.
Oh, you just getting your clothes on? Wait, what's happening?
We're gonna go red.
Oh, he needed some red too to go with the ladies in red. Make it work. Get in formation, okay?
I think I have this backwards, but that's okay. What's up?
It's all right. All we see is the red, so we don't know. We don't know.
I'm like, wait, is he just getting his clothes on for the morning? Okay, so one thing that I wish I would have had this morning is coffee, and you've launched into the coffee business. You have Stella Blue. How did you even get into the coffee game?
So, Stella Blue Coffee, we've been doing it for about 3 years, coming up on 3 years now. I have 3 little kids. I am very busy, and I was like, oh, here you go. It's right here. This is good. It's good that I plan to have it right here. So I said, you know, I drink a lot of coffee. I love coffee. We've been doing Barstool for a very long time. Why don't I start a coffee business? Named it after my dog, Stella, who is a rescue dog from Paws, Chicago on Clybourne. Rescued her 13 years ago. So she's 14 years old. She's still around. So now we got 3 little kids and Stella kicking around in the house. And we sell really good coffee. And then we give a portion of the money back to Paws, Chicago. We've raised over $200,000 in the last 3 years. So it's been awesome.
You all have done wonderful work teaming up together. Love the pictures of Stella. So let's talk a little bit more about moving forward, what you want to do and how you see them being able to use the money that you've been able to raise for them.
Yeah, I mean, homeless pets obviously are a big issue because, you know, Bob Barker, I used to watch Price is Right all the time, spay and neuter your pets. There's a lot of homeless pets out there. There's a lot of people who like, oh, I'm going to get a dog for Christmas, and then they don't like the dog, and then they put it out on the street. So Paws Chicago does a great job of making sure that we find forever homes for these homeless pets, and it's really great because, listen, cats, dogs, these are part of our family. Stella has been with our family for 13 years, like I said. She is part of our family. And so we want to, you know, have her legacy live on and take care of other pets in the Chicago area. And we drink some really good coffee.
You know, it seems like there's been like this influx, this like burst, if you will, of businesses, coffee shops starting all across Chicago. A lot of little small coffee shops starting up, and a lot of people really starting their own coffee brands. Why do you think it's so important for people to support locally instead of just lining up, you know, at the Starbucks or, you know, in some cases, some other big chains?
That's a great question. We're going to take down the big corporations. Starbucks, everyone goes there because
everyone has
so
their
easy.
place. Everyone has their
Yeah.
place, you know.
Are you a Starbucks drinker?
Listen, it is PSL season, but I think to her point.
Well, hold on. If
Do you have a
Starbucks,
PSL?
No, but you're basically saying you don't like dogs.
No.
We're losing
Not
dog
at all.
lives because of what you were purchasing
I think
every day.
I am a big fan of the furry animals.
You've personally killed probably dozens of dogs.
You're taking it to a whole nother level, sir. So let's talk about what she's saying, though, in terms of just supporting locally, because I do think, you know, if you're able to take what's local here and support your friends, your neighbors, I think there's a place for that, and there's an importance for that. Starbucks might be in the airport, or if you're going somewhere else or whatever. Yeah. But everybody has a place.
Yeah, save some dogs. Small business.
Yeah.
It's what makes America great. And we have, by the way, this coming soon. Some ready-to-drink cans.
Ooh.
I haven't actually. I think this might be an exclusive for you guys.
Okay.
So these are
we
coming
love
soon.
exclusives.
Yeah, so you can stop drinking your Starbucks and start saving dogs.
Do you have the PSL?
I'm gonna actually put a ticker. I'm gonna put a ticker in the ChicagoNOW studio, and it's gonna be amount of dogs that you've killed every time you have.
Dan. Oh my God. And listen, Dan, nobody would believe you. No one would believe you that Anita has killed a dog.
Listen,
no one would believe you.
I can get the narrative going. Okay?
Don't get that narrative going. You can get it going, but when I'm on the air tomorrow with a little paws puppy and I'm holding it and I can't let it go, they're going to be like, yeah, she probably kind of loves dogs, probably kind of cries when they leave the studio. Yeah, they wouldn't believe you.
Right.
But we love what you're doing and love the growth of it over time. Love, obviously, the connection between you and Paws, because we love having Paws, that partnership with the station. Let's talk sports, can we?
Well, actually, I would like to talk about something more important right now.
Then sports.
And I hate to bring this up. Make sure you get this, Dom. My assistant's in here. Right now, I took a flight last night, and my ears are still clogged.
Oh, no.
And I'm putting a deadline on my own life at 4 p.m. If I can't unclog my ears, it might be over, because I'm in hell right now. I can't hear.
Can you hear us?
It's the worst.
Can you hear us? What have you done to get rid of it?
I've done everything, Anita. I've chewed gum. I've done the exercises where you hold your nose and you do that. I did the warm compress. I am in absolute hell. I can hear only out of one ear. I can't pop my right ear. And again, I'm not trying to make anyone nervous, but I'm putting a deadline on my own life at 4 p.m. today. If it's not unclogged, it's over.
We promise we won't be still talking to you at 4. You need to go see a doctor, would be my suggestion.
No one's going to be talking to me at 4.
I do, in all seriousness, though, because you did hold up the can of coffee there, I do want to go back to something. Where can people, because, again, we were talking about accessibility and why some people do go to the big chains. Where can people get that when it eventually is on the mainstream market?
It's going to be available in local grocery stores, and it's also going to be available on Amazon. But I don't like that you just changed the topic away from my ears, because this is a national emergency we're dealing with.
It is a national emergency. It is a national emergency.
Will not pop.
But you know what?
It will not pop.
You know what could help it to pop? A new influx of cash. And she was trying to help you get some cash. So
go to the doctor, Dan.
You know, cash kind of helps with that.
No, but this is the problem. Like, I have enough money. And you could have all the money in the world, and if you can't pop your ears, what are you? You're nothing.
There's something to what you just said, for
Where
sure.
did you guys find this man?
Can you try to hear us really good so we can talk about sports just a bit? We do want to talk about the Bears.
Yes,
We've got to talk about college. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. So let's start with Monday. Let's start with Monday. The Bears, Vikings, who you got, and what do you think moving into this season, what we should be looking forward to?
Okay, so last year I got a little too excited, a little too ahead of myself. Said some crazy things in the summer that I very much regretted. I think this Bears season is going to be good. I'm saying 8 or 9 wins, and I know that sounds a little defeatist because people want to hear me say, oh, playoffs. Right. But it's a new coach. Caleb Williams last year had no help in terms of his coaching staff. He's basically starting fresh. So I think it's all about how Caleb Williams looks going forward, and it's going to be a process. You can't expect on Monday night for it to look perfect. because Ben Johnson has a deep playbook and he's trying to, instill an offense in this organization. I'm very bullish on Ben Johnson. I think the culture change at House Hall is very important, but I think we need to have a little bit of patience with Caleb Williams. I know it hurts because we thought, drafting the first overall pick and how good he was in college and he won a Heisman, all these things. We have to have patience. I think he's going to be great. It just might take a little bit of time to get the season going. So Monday night, I'm going in with, hey, look, I think the Bears are going to win. I hope they win, but I'm not going to get too down on myself if things don't go well.
A lot of
very
people
good
were.
perspective.
It is a good perspective, and a lot of people were, especially us Bears fans, we were upset with the pickup of Micah Parsons going to Green Bay.
Bad.
What do you make of that?
Well, we'll see, because again, I don't know if my ear doesn't end up getting popped, then I won't ever get to see Micah Parsons play for the Packers. No, it was bad. That was a bad day to be a Bears fan. Micah Parsons is really, really good. Yeah. I wish that Ryan Poles and the Bears had gone after and gotten him. Maybe the price was too much, and they don't want to, change the window, because we did something similar with Khalil Mack. But yeah, that's going to be a problem. We got to hope that Micah Parsons somehow sucks at football, which he doesn't.
Well, he's not. I think he's not 100% right now. So there's at least that. He's not 100%.
Neither am I. I got the ear.
That's right.
True.
You can empathize with them at the moment. Let's talk college. Opening weekend, big noon, big games. Do you feel bad for Arch Manning? And
no. What are you talking about?
I felt like there was I don't know if there was more pressure on another college player. Everything said, oh, he's a Heisman front runner, even though he hadn't even started. All of the commercials were him. And then they really had quite the butt kicking. So what do you think about Arch, and then just this season? Like, what are the teams to watch?
He's going to be fine. He's a Manning. I do not feel bad for Arch Manning at all.
I agree.
That's crazy. You should start feeling bad about the homeless pets and not Arch Manning. I'm just
Good
saying
point,
that.
Dan.
Right.
Good point. I gotta give it to you on that one.
Look, Arch might be homeless if he comes home without completions as a Manning.
He'll never be homeless.
No, Ohio State's a really good team. Ohio State's going to be there at the end. I think LSU's going to be there.
Don't get it
You're
twisted.
a Buckeye?
Don't get it twisted. I was waiting for my opportunity. I wasn't gonna brag. So.
Well, no, it's not really a brag. I mean,
it is.
That means
it's a flex.
You got
it's a bit of a flex.
C's in high school.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Everyone gets into Ohio State.
That's not true. That is not true. Actually, Ohio State does not let everybody in. And in fact, one of my coworkers who had a daughter who had a perfect GPA an almost perfect SAT, did not get into the Ohio State.
Yeah, because she was too smart to get in. That's the problem. They're like, you don't want to show up the rest of the student body.
Not smart enough.
You know what?
Not smart enough, Dan. See, I don't have
like, if you can figure out how to pop your ear,
right,
then maybe you could get in.
You can't even unpop your ears. So how can you tell me about Ohio State?
Let's not be shaming a person who's going through an absolute crisis right now. That's not fair.
I could figure that out from my Ohio State degree. Just saying.
It's so good having you here.
I love it.
And teasing with you, man. I guess as we're kind of closing things out here, we love having you back after going to New York, back in Chicago. And what's been the best thing about that?
I mean, it's just, the office we have in West Town is awesome. We moved a bunch of people. We have like 80, 90 people. I think Chicago gets a bad rap in the national discourse. It's obviously, we love it. It's the greatest city on earth. And I think that it's important, jobs coming to Chicago, people being in Chicago, and everyone here in this office has loved the move. So it's been great. And we're saving dogs.
Yes, most importantly, you are saving dogs.
Not all of us, Anita.
Listen, maybe you put your ear right up to,
and maybe
right up there. Yeah, and here Anita loves dogs. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
No, I can't hear anything. I would love to come back on the show, but I might not be alive after 4 o'clock.
No. Why do you keep saying that? That is not
because
funny.
I put a deadline. I have to fix this. I'm in absolute hell right now.
I have a really serious question for you. Have you ever thought about, or have you ever dabbled in
Don't
stand-up?
say chew gum. Don't say chew gum.
No,
you already said you tried chewing gum.
I was going to ask you, have you done stand-up comedy?
I have not. I have hosted some stand-up comedy. We have some really funny people in the office, much funnier than I am.
Wow.
Because I'm not that funny. I know it's hard to believe, but no, we've at the Laugh Factory, we've done a bunch of shows where I've hosted a couple of them, and people at our office have done stand-up. So yeah, we have a lot of really talented people, and it's cool because it's a cool event for our fans to be able to come out and see us in a different setting.
You're funny. You're funny looking. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness. Oh, yikes.
How could you do that? How could you do that to someone who's in
Because you insulted her school. That's how.
It's been over.
It's got to come back to you. Before we let you go, I want to mention it's the 25th anniversary of the Pause Chicago 5K Run Walk for Their Lives. It's taking place. It's Saturday, September 13th from 7:30 in the morning to 11 a.m. So we appreciate what you do for Pause, and we just encourage everybody to get involved, helping so many different little pets that are around this area, soon to be pets in forever homes.
Yes.
Yeah, the 5K is great, and we'll see both of you there, right? Or should I whisper into a dog's ear and be like, hey, they're not here because they don't care about it?
How dare you put us on the spot?
Just let me know.
That is horrible. That is horrible, but we love you anyway. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
See you next time, Dan. You are something else.
Such a mess. Pop that ear.
Goodness.
Pop that ear.
Yes.
Ever happening.
We'll be right
just
back.
taking your clothes off. All right, we'll be right back, and we're talking Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and we're also going to talk cabaret.
Countess.
Yes, with the Countess. We'll be right back.
To burn, respect yourself, because no one else can change your path. Money can't buy your class. Money can't buy your class. Elegance is learned, my friends. Elegance is learned, oh yeah.
Elegance is learned. Money cannot buy you class. That is an iconic woman right there, the one and only Countess Luann de Lesseps, and she is coming to Chicago, and I should say back to Chicago. Yeah. She kind of loves us here in the Windy City, so she's joining us now via Zoom. I feel a little bit, I I don't know.
Look at you looking
Slightly
good, girl.
disappointed that you didn't come back in the studio today.
Yeah, I would.
I know. You know, I'm in New York. You know, holding down the fort over here because lots going on with Fashion Week and all that. But I can't wait to get to Chicago. I love Chicago. And, you know, put on another, you know, cabaret, which is this tour's kind of greatest hits because my shows are always different. And so I'm super excited to get there. And the show is, you know, so much fun. And I can't wait to reconnect with all my Chicago fans.
You know, we're looking forward to having you here for that. But, you know, there's always chatter when you talk about being in the reality world, right? And you were on Real Housewives of New York for a very long time. And,
OG.
Yes, and a lot of people always ask for the OGs back. And right now we've seen a lot of these shows have recast it with these people we've never seen before. We don't know them. And we're asking for the OGs. We miss you because your lines, I think we started out the show. I was talking about your line about, you know, even Louis Vuitton makes mistakes. I'll never, ever forget that. Do you miss being in that world?
Neither will Louis Vuitton.
I know.
Are they like New York Fashion Week? No.
You're not invited. You're not coming. Do you miss?
You miss it? It's been so incredible. So incredible to be, you know, on the show for so long, then spin off into Crappy Lake with Sonia, Sonia Rita, and, you know, and then the Love Hotel, which was so much fun. So, you know, I talk about all these things in my cabaret show. You know, my cabaret is really all about, you know, my story. And, you know, I pick a song that I love, and then I go, okay, what story is going to get me to that song? And then, of course, I have to pick the perfect Giovanni dress. You know, like I'll cover, you know, Tina Turner, so it has to be short.
All right,
and
now.
all about legs.
Working hard. Okay, working hard. Let's talk about maybe some guests or surprises that you want to have along the way. I mean, you don't have to like break the bank today and let everybody know the breaking news, but give us a little hint or something.
Well, I mean, this show, you know, I show videos, you know, I show pop culture videos from, you know, the show. I talk about those moments. I talk about, you know, where did Bethany get that picture from at the Regency, right? So I get into all of that. I get into iconic moments from the leg toss of Aviva. And so many other things. You know, this show is really so much fun for everyone. You know, the fans come, you know, dressed for me. They put their statement necklaces on for me. And that's a huge nod to the show. I always have a great time in Chicago. And, you know, you just never know who's going to pop into my audience. So, you know, a housewife or two may show up. So so it's always full of surprises. I play trivia with the audience. And so it's very engaging. The fans are really a part of the show because I say to them, well, if you know so much about me, then, you know, and then I throw out a trivia question. So it's very engaging. It is a party. You know, people go alone and they end up leaving with 5 other people because they bonded. And I love that. You know, the show is very, you know, a lot of fun, and people just are connected because they have, you know, they're part of the Bravo universe and part of, you know, Housewives history, really, because they grew up with me, a lot of my fans. You know what I mean? It's like my fans range from, you know, 19 to 80 years old. You know, mothers and daughters come. You know, I've had people tell me, you know, you got me through cancer. You got me through law school. You know, so to be able to spread that kind of joy and do what I love is really amazing. And, you know, that's where I've been at it for 8 years now. I've been doing cabaret. And I just got asked to play Sydney, Australia. So I'm so happy.
Congratulations.
Oh, I'm thrilled. So, you know, this show, again, it's all new, and I think my fans in Chicago are really going to love it. So I'm excited. I hope you girls are going to be there.
Yeah, it sounds like we just got a
need to make plans.
You got an invite. Yes, you come VIP.
We will be there. I like that. I like those words, V-I and the P. Okay, so you mentioned something that made me remember your time being on Real Housewives, and you mentioned Bethany. I always thought she was jealous of you, to be quite frank. And then I know that Love Hotel called. They said, hey, would you like to come on the show? You know, you get 3 weeks, you know, on this basically vacation, and we'll pay you. What made you do it? And would you then, if Real Housewives, if that franchise called you back, would you go back?
You know, I always say maybe to that, like, you know, why say yes or no when you could say maybe? It just gives you more time to think about it. And I live like that. Love Hotel. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. I'm single. They're going to pay me to go on vacation and find me guys. I'm like, good luck with that. And then I went, yeah, habibi, I'm in.
Maybe
so,
it sounds like for the right price.
Hotel as well in this show, and James is amazing. I love James, adore James, and I actually just got booked in Maui, so I'm playing Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
So I got myself over there. I got
booked
myself
and busy.
A paid trip to Maui.
Booked and busy. That sounds amazing.
I gotta ask this, Anita. Are you still with James, or are you free and clear and looking today?
Listen, we ended like this. That he lives in Hawaii. I live in New York. My life is here. I have a home in the Hamptons. I like to be close to Europe also. Hawaii couldn't be the further. It's like Timbuktu. It's like you live in Timbuktu for me. So, but we're in touch all the time. He came and surprised me at one of my shows. In Nevada, which is incredible, and I'm playing Vegas, by the way, at BravoCon, so I'm thrilled about that. So I hope my fans will come. Of course they will, from BravoCon, because it's so close. But anyway, so yes, James and I are still, very much love each other.
Okay, all right,
okay.
All right, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Sounds quite friendly, but anyway. Let's talk about what you do when you're in Chicago. You said you love Chicago. We've seen you love on Chicago, but like with your busy schedule, I'm sure you don't have a whole lot of time when you get to Chicago, but what are the things you try to do when you say, like, I gotta spend this time with this?
Or a restaurant or something.
Right. Well, it's funny because I've been many times to Chicago. I have a lot of favorite places, but don't ask me because I have a tour manager who says, this is what we're going to do. And I go out. Definitely I go out after my show because I love to celebrate after the show. And so who knows where I'll end up, but you tell me, where should I go?
Ooh, okay.
There's a lot of places.
There's a whole lot of places. What kind of food do you want?
like?
Let's start there.
I like all kinds of food. I like everything.
What's your favorite?
I'm going to say probably Italian.
Okay. I could see you like in the Gold Coast.
You could just hop around there, really.
Yeah, and you could.
And seafood's great there too, right?
Seafood is right there. Yep, sefood is right there.
That's where I would start.
Yeah,
I'm not going to single out a
I've been
place,
so many times, but I love it because the food is always good. The people are great. The city's gorgeous. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back to see my friends and to see my fans.
So maybe
and to see you ladies.
Yeah, you'll see us. And maybe your next man is from Chicago.
Ooh.
You just never know with me.
Her next friend.
Her next friend. You mentioned that cabaret for you. It's not like you've been doing this your entire life.
Yeah.
What made you take the plunge and start doing cabaret to begin with?
I have an old friend that said to me, you know what, Luann? You love to sing for your friends, you love to tell jokes, and you're a great hostess. You should be doing cabaret. And he put that seed in my head. And then I started by loving variety. I grew up in Carol Burnett with Cher.
Yes.
I love variety shows, and I really started as Countess and Friends, and I used to have comedians. I mean, I've had so many big stars in my show. Lance Bass has been in my show, Bridget Everett, Rachel Dratch from SNL. I've had a lot of big stars in my show. And then my director said, you know what, Lou, every time somebody else is on the stage, people go to the bathroom or they go get a drink. And he said, you can carry this show on your own. So it started as a variety show, Countess and Friends, and it kind of morphed into cabaret because I'm a performer and I love to entertain. And I think that's why the show is good, because you can see when somebody loves what they do and it makes a big difference. Like, for example, the new Housewives franchise didn't work out because you see they're not really friends. Our show worked because we really knew each other and we knew where all the skeletons were buried. So
Where the
Right,
bones,
so it makes a big
the bone
difference.
collectors.
And
the
dig 'em
bone
up.
collectors, yeah.
So, you know, I'm really having a great time out there because I just love it. And I always pick music that I know my fans are going to love. So it's like a big sing-along, really.
Yeah, I love it.
And I'm working on Holiday right now, so maybe I'll be back for Holiday.
Ooh.
My new song is called Sonia Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Oh,
Wait, are you
run
serious?
over by a reindeer?
Sonia
You know, I
got
was
run
just-
over by a reindeer.
No, go
I
ahead.
was
Keep
just
going.
getting
I wanna
ready to
hear.
ask you who you really are friends with, and now I'm like, oh, if Sonia's getting run over by a reindeer,
Then you ain't
she might
friends
not
with
be a
her.
friend.
No, listen, I've been posting like crazy with the girls. We've been hanging out in the Hamptons this summer. I don't know if you saw my Instagram.
Yes.
But I have a lot of videos with the girls this summer because I see them all. And by the way, it's September 13th. I'm going to be in Chicago, right? So, yeah, I think some of the girls might be there.
Okay.
Even more reason for some folks to come on out.
Yeah, your own little like mini BravoCon.
Yeah.
Well, and Dorinda just got off the phone with me.
Oh, wow. So since you're mentioning,
We have our morning coffee together, which is really, you know, we're super connected. Ramona I saw, you know, last week, and Sonia I saw a couple weeks ago for lunch out here, and so yeah, we see each other.
what about
all the time.
Bethany? Is Bethany in your program?
Oh no,
I figured not. I figured not.
she moved to Miami.
Okay.
Arrivederci.
Did you tell her money can't buy you class, girl? Thank you so much for your time. Everybody, once again, Countess Cabaret, starring Luann de Lesseps in Mary F. Kill. It's going to be at the Vic Theater Saturday on September 13th. Make sure you go out and see this lady and maybe some friends in the audience, too. Thanks so much. We appreciate
good seeing
it.
you.
Thank you, ladies. I'll see you there.
Okay.
And I'll see you back on the big screen because I think they're going to call you back. I do.
Yeah, be cool. Don't be like all uncool. I'll see you there.
I'll be your friend on the show. If you need a friend,
Friend of, right, yeah.
friend of the show, I'm your girl. All right, great to see you.
You're more than just a friend.
Oh,
darling.
come on.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, tell them to call me for the right money. I'm out here. All
We'll
right.
be right back, everybody. Thank you.
Fox Local.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It's 11:33 right now, and we're so excited about this next segment because the Bears have been expanding their girls flag football program, really pouring a lot into young women here in the Chicagoland area. And we have one with us and her coach today, as well as our friend from the Bears organization.
Yes, it's so good to have all three of you here. Let's start out with you, Gustavo. Gustavo Silva, this is a big initiative for the Bears. Why did the Bears even want to get into this space with girls flag football?
So, you know, it's one of our core missions to grow the game of football, and we want to do that by making the game accessible and inclusive. And, you know, what better place to start than with girls and women? So this is an initiative that we started in 2021 with Chicago Public Schools. And, in these years that have passed since 2021, we have 200 schools that are playing this year, and the game is now an officially sanctioned sport by the IHSA as of last year. So we've really made tremendous growth both here in our local market, internationally, and the game has grown globally. So it really was just the right place at the right time, and we're glad that we got in when we did, because girls like me are showing us that it's very much needed and it's very much wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. Gustavo, you are the director of football development, and for sure we know that when coaches step into these scenes right here, maybe you're getting your team over there with Caleb or maybe some of the other players, really there's development that happens on the field for these girls, but then also off. Can you talk a little bit about that, Coach Brooks?
Yeah, I'm an athlete, a former athlete myself, so being able to help young girls learn a new sport and be able to grow on and off the field, helping them grow into amazing young women, and it's been great, and seeing them learn and seeing them grow and seeing the sport continue to grow throughout the state of Illinois.
Well, we got to talk to Mia, and I know Mia's a little nervous, but Mia is one of the star athletes, and you told us you play 2 positions.
Yes.
What positions do you play?
Safety and receiver.
Okay, so that's obviously got to be pretty quick to be able to do those positions, but let's talk about what this has done for you, not just on the field, but actually being a student as well.
It created many relationships, other sports that opened up doors, like camps, like the Bears camp, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I love it. It's okay, you ain't got to say a lot, but you said enough.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing here Kevin Warren, kind of speak to the group. Gustavo, you all are pouring in a lot into this particular program and these young women, as I mentioned. So talk about some of the programming that you all have had over the summer, especially when these young ladies were out of school. I know we talked about there was a moment for Women and Girls Sports Day when so many of the young women came over and they were able to meet the football players, but also some other women who are in sports as well.
Of course. So, I mean, that's the thing about sports, right? We know that it's a great pathway to success in life.
Yeah.
And, with football, I feel like, women have not had those opportunities historically. So we really wanted to be at the forefront of making those opportunities, because there are a lot of women that work in sports. And there are so many women that are successful in sports and are critical to our organizations.
Yeah.
So being exposed to those women, both, that work for the Bears and work alongside the Bears on these different initiatives, it's really important for the girls to see those role models. And you talked about, Mr. Kevin Warren, George McCaskey, our chairman. They're huge supporters of girls flag football. George McCaskey is an IHSA girls flag football official. That's how committed he is to this. Kevin Warren and his wife, Greta Warren, presented the 5 teams that attended training camp with donation of cleats so that they have the equipment that they need to be successful. So we're really committed to building pathways for girls to not only play at the high school level, collegiately, internationally, at the Olympics and beyond, to really use the sport as a vehicle for success in life.
That's what I was going to ask you next, because we have seen, especially in the NFL, NBA as well, where there's been an influx of women with big positions, like you being a coach, right? Let's talk about, where this really could potentially take Mia for her future. Is it possible that she could be playing flag football at a college, on a collegiate level?
Yes, so collegiate flag football does exist. There's actually 2 schools in Illinois right now that play this year collegiately. There's going to be 8 next year, and about 100 throughout the United States. So there are opportunities. Girls from Illinois are getting scholarships and are playing. We had about 27 girls that came to training camp this year as well that are also going to be playing collegiately. So those opportunities are there already. It is going to be an Olympic sport in 2028, but like you said, there's opportunities beyond that. Kevin always says that, one day one of these young ladies could have his job as president and CEO of the Chicago Bears.
Is that something that you're looking at?
Yes.
Mia, okay, you step up at Hallis Hall. who did you want to see, and what do you remember in terms of like what stuck out to you?
I wanted to see Caleb Williams because he's the quarterback and everything, and then I was most excited to see like the history and the achievements in Hollis Hall. Yeah.
Had you always been interested in football? Was that like the sport that you were like into? Because some people they like basketball too. Was football always your sport?
No, I used to play with my brother in the backyard, but then when it came to our school, I was like excited, and yeah, that's when I really took it serious.
Yeah. Coach Brooks, listening to Mia, obviously we want more young women to be able to have these testimonies. What do you see for the future of the game? And if somebody is maybe watching right now and their daughter is like, okay, well, a lot of parents, they try this, try that, try this, try that, but you're like, football? For my little girl, what do you say to them?
The young women can do anything. It's a lovely sport. It's fun. A lot of the girls learn very quickly, especially because some of them may have watched football a little bit here or there, so they kind of already know a little bit of the rules, but just getting those skills down and being able to show them that it's a new sport that you have another opportunity in. There's plenty of sports that they can play in high school, and being able to give them another door that they can be able to have a good future in, whether it's them playing in college or even playing in the Olympics. It's a growing sport all over the world, and it's good to see that they are able to have another opportunity.
Yeah. When you start talking scholarships, parents are like, well, wait a minute, maybe she should.
Anyone listening right now, maybe they haven't considered this for their kid, but maybe they can see the potential there. Where should they start?
So I think it depends on the age of the child, right? I think if they're in high school, they're likely that the school may already have a program, and if not, they're going to have a program. So I would say if your school doesn't have a program, then sit down with some of your peers and maybe talk to the athletic director, talk to the principal about bringing a program to your school, because that's a lot of the work that we did, a lot of the outreach work that we did back in 2021, 22, 23 to get us to this point. If your child is younger, right, if you have a little girl who's maybe in youth or middle school, we're also growing the game at that level, because this needs to continue to feed itself. So right now the high school teams are feeding the collegiate programs that are coming out of necessity, and the same thing is happening with the youth programming. We're seeing it grow at the youth level, at the middle school level. So I would say be an advocate, be a champion for the sport, and if you don't have one within your community, help be the person that brings it there. Reach out to us, and we're here to help
you all
do
are
that.
Certainly meeting demand. We've seen and talked about things that have already happened. Can you key us in on maybe some things that you all have coming up?
Well, right now, a couple of things, right? We are championing these efforts at the collegiate levels, and we started doing that a couple years ago when we saw the growth. We sat down with colleges and universities and said, hey, we have thousands of girls that are playing this sport that could potentially come to your school if you offer this program. So that's one thing that we're working on, is advocating at that level. We're also growing it at the middle school level. We believe in the scholastic model. All kids go to school. So all kids should have the opportunity at school to play sports. So we're really trying to build that at the middle school and youth level. We have leagues internationally, the Bears do, in Spain and in the UK, that we are growing the game in our international markets as well, because we're not talking about just an Illinois game or a national game. This is a global game that's going to be competed at the Olympics, right? And there's potential there, right, in the future for professional leagues, and more importantly, just opportunities in the professional sports ecosystem for women, and that's really what this is about.
Absolutely. Mia, is that something that you're looking at, taking this to the collegiate level and then beyond?
Yes.
Yes, that's all you need to know. Yes, absolutely. Is there anything more that you all would want to say about the opportunities you're giving young women, or just the changing face of football?
Go ahead, Mia. Take a job at it.
I'm glad that it's a growing sport, and I hope it gets real bigger, and so it can have more opportunities for everybody.
Well, absolutely. And I would definitely say, don't be scared to try it. When Mia first came, she was trying it, and she became a superstar on the field. We have a lot of other girls who tried it for the first time and learned very quickly, and it's a big sport that you have a great opportunity in. So just try it. Even if you don't like it at first, it may seem fun later down the line.
Yeah, trying it is a big part of it.
I would say you know, that there's a place to get involved, right? So we need, obviously, there's a lot of girls that want to play the game. They need coaches like Coach Brooks. We need officials. We need people that are going to support that. So I think wherever you are and you believe that sports are important for girls, then I think that you should get involved in whatever way you can. Again, a coach, an official, an advocate, a champion, a supporter. But there's something that we can all do to help grow the game, and I think that that's, you know, probably the best thing that we could do is just be champions and advocates for these young ladies.
That's a good point, because when I think about, you know, I went to a college that was really big in sports, and I always saw men, obviously, you know, being the coaches and whatnot. And so I don't think there's a lot of women that even think about that as an opportunity, maybe more so now. So for you, Coach Brooks, was it a difference, you know, from maybe the sports you've coached before to transitioning into flag football? Was this a difference for you?
A little bit. I have coached basketball before, and I played basketball before, but in my adult years, I've been recently playing adult flag football, like recreationally. Our athletic director is actually one of my teammates, and she was kind of the one that was pushing for, you know, we want more girls sports, but we also want more women in sports. So she got me on board about coaching, and I was very excited. And it's good to see, like, there are plenty more women that are coaching, especially in Illinois high schools. And it's good to see that, you know, they have someone that they can look up to, and someone that they can learn the game from and understand from, and not feel like it's too challenging. They have something to look forward to.
Absolutely. We so appreciate you all being here. Thank you for what you are bringing. Thank you for what you are doing. Mia, you get it, girl. Safety, wide
we
receiver,
are proud of you.
hot shot all around. We look forward to seeing you on the field. It's 11:45. We're back after this. No matter.
Welcome back to Chicago. Now, we're just talking about all things architecture in Chicago. And with us right now is Jen Mason-Garb. She is the executive director of AIA Chicago, which is all about the architecture in Chicago. You kind of like said it was the equivalent, I said, like the Emmys of architecture in Chicago. And what's really awesome about this is that the people can actually vote and say which buildings they feel like should get these awards. So let's talk about it. Who's on the list this year?
Great. So we're the professional body of architects. The AIA is the American Institute of Architects. We represent about 4,000 architects and designers here in Chicago. They have their own set of awards where their peers, jurors from around the country, evaluate their awards. These are for the public. These are for the hometown crowd to really see what their favorite is. We have 10 categories this year in the Lurch Bates People's Choice Awards. 10 categories of all different typologies: residential, commercial, tall buildings, institutional, hospitality, whatever your favorite is, you're going to find it here. And there are 4 buildings in each of those categories. So it's a chance for the public to really have their vote. Imagine if you could go to the Emmys and actually vote for your favorites. It's that sort of equivalent. The public can also attend, so maybe we can talk about that a little bit later too. But you asked about like what can we vote on? There are 4 categories in each building. Voting opens today, so we hope tune in.
Yeah. Okay, and I believe we have some pictures that we want to pull up here.
We're gonna highlight skyscrapers today.
All right. Let's take a look, and you'll talk us through what we are seeing. If we get those pictures up, I believe. Okay, here we go. What are we seeing?
So they're going to move pretty fast here. This is 1000M. This is on South Michigan Avenue. 1000M is the last building designed by the architect Helmut Jahn before he passed away. This is designed by his the firm of Jahn. It's right along that Michigan Avenue street wall, across from Grant Park. It's a residential building. So a new icon on the South Michigan Avenue skyline. We can actually see it as we look down the way here. So that's the first building that the public can vote on.
160 Front?
160 Front is in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Right. So one of the great things about Chicago architects is they are exporting architecture. And Chicago is really still the home of where so many influential tall buildings are designed around the world. This is by the firm of Adrian Smith Gordon Gill Architects. It's in Toronto. It's got a really interesting shape on the skyline. You can see it's right near some other recognizable icons there in Toronto. It's an office building, but really high performance, sustainability, really thinking about energy use, carbon neutrality, etc. So that is exciting. The architect also, the main designer of this is Adrian Smith, and we are coincidentally awarding Adrian Smith with our Lifetime Achievement Award this year, also at the same design night evening.
What an honor.
Let's go to our next building. We have 320 South Canal.
Right, okay, People's Choice option number 3 here for skyscrapers. This is designed by Getch Partners. You can see this when you come in from the south end of the city. It's a new skyscraper on that kind of south end of the loop, right near Union Station. 320 South Canal. It's also the home of BMO. You can see their icon up at the top. Getch Partners designed this building. They've done several really iconic buildings along Wacker Drive, and this is the latest. They're also really, really known for their structural gymnastics, and I mean that in a good way. How do you build such a tall building over railroad tracks, right? And over thinking about, it's not really solid ground there, right? There's a lot of different layers having to do with in and around the train tracks. So it's a beautiful building, and it's also got a really interesting, largest public park from a private entity. It's called 320 Green, and it's in on that west side of the building.
And there's 360 North Green.
Yes, all these names, numbers of buildings, right? They go by their addresses.
This is gorgeous.
This is in the West Loop, and so you've probably seen this. This is designed by the firm of Gensler here in Chicago. Gensler is known for a wide variety of buildings of different scales and sizes, but this building here in the Fulton Market district is an office building, a commercial office building, but it's got that interesting kind of light tower in the middle of the stairwell. And a lot of really interesting amenities, and you can see they've kind of floated the building on the lower level with those really interesting columns that come down to free up that space for public space and the entrance. So it's another really, really great addition to the skyline.
You mentioned that there's 4 categories that people can vote. What are those?
10
there's
categories.
10 total.
10 categories.
What are they?
Things like single-family residential, hospitality, hospitals, education, infrastructure. People will recognize, for example, the new Green Line stop on the CTA on Damon. That's in one of the options this year. There's a new Metra/Amtrak station in Homewood. That's designed by Perkins and Will, right? Sorry, I'm going to back up. The CTA station is designed by Perkins and Will, the Damon Green Line stop. But also single-family homes, multi-family homes, residential, just a wide variety. There's 4 buildings in each category, office, etc. And Chicagoans can vote. I won't tell you to vote early and often.
Someone had to say that on a voting.
Right. But people should vote, and it's a good chance also to really see the strength of our Chicago architects. Right. We are exporting design expertise around the world. There are 11 different states of which projects are designed in, so they have to be designed here, but built everywhere. So they're not only in Chicago. But we're so thankful to Lurch Bates has sponsored this award now for 3 years. The other really great partner in this is the Chicago Architecture Center. So they are well known for their architecture river crews, right? And the docents who know so much about Chicago architecture, those volunteer docents. They serve as the round one jury. So we got about 200 entries or so for all of the projects, and those docents sift through and sort through and came up with these that you see here to choose from.
That's a tough job. Yeah. And each one of these is just amazing here. I would assume that you all were kind of hand in hand, maybe, with like tourism. When we see these things or when we talk about them, this makes people want to come see it in person.
It's what Chicago is known for, right? Food and music and architecture, right? It's those three things that the public's coming for. And so it is a chance for the public to really engage and see what their favorites are, or maybe they've seen it on the skyline or seen it in their neighborhoods, right? There's community hospitals and things like that that you'll see in the categories. We're talking about the most largest buildings here, but there's a lot of neighborhood buildings, and so I think it's a chance for also the public with that curiosity of, I've seen that building, what is that? And to really recognize the thought and care that has gone into the design of the building, because all the architects are really thinking about the users, right? What is the user? What does the public need? What does this community need?
You know, I've traveled all over the place, and I always come back to my roots, being born here in Chicago. The architecture is just so beautiful.
Nothing
you have
like
the
it.
old mixed with the modern. Why do you think it is that way, that Chicago is so known? Like you said, most people think of architecture when they think of the city.
Yeah, we are really fortunate with an incredible legacy of buildings here in Chicago, right? An incredible legacy from some of the earliest skyscrapers in the world ever designed here, all the way to these, these new projects. I think good also begets good, right? We expect good buildings in our city. We have a dialogue about them. We have a consciousness about them. We also call out buildings that maybe could be better, right? The Chicago Architecture Center has a great role in that, in the way that they have that public dialogue with our buildings designed by our AI Chicago members. So I think it just makes better, and we have, I mean, it's like another sport also here in Chicago.
It is.
Right? People have their favorites.
Thriving.
They cheer for each other. They have friendly competition, and that's what this is about.
And don't rename a building that has been known for one
Well,
name.
people aren't going to change with the name. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you'll notice these 4 skyscrapers are their addresses. So maybe they're hedging their bets a little.
Let's go back to how people can vote.
Yes.
We don't have too much more time here, but we want to make sure that people take advantage of this opportunity for the People's Choice Award.
Yes, AIAchicago.org/vote.
And voting starts today, and when does it come to an end?
It will end on September 17th, which is the last day before people can come to Design Night, which is on September 18th.
Got it.
It's at the Harris Theater for Music and Dance. It's a very accessible ticket price. You can't go to the Oscars for $15, but you can come to Design Night for $15. And it's your chance to rub elbows with Chicago's architectural community and also hear about the winners. So we hope the public will join us.
I hope so too. You said 6,000 people voted last year?
Last year,
Wow.
Yeah.
How many are you hoping for this year?
I don't know.
I would think more than last year, for sure.
I hope so.
Of course.
Thanks for your help and getting the word out.
No, it's been a
at all.
pleasure.
Thank you for what you all do, kind of advocating. I know we have maybe, I love having you here, but if there's a young woman especially at home who is saying architecture, give us just your last moment to say why they should be a part of, or a young child, boy or girl, watching and to do what you do.
Right. Architecture is for everyone because everyone is impacted by architecture, and we need more voices and faces that look like the people we're designing for.
Very true.
Amen.
Very true. You said it well. We don't have to
Wonderful
say anything
way
else.
to leave it right there.
We thank you for joining us today, and we thank our audience, people that were watching on TV, for joining us for our first on TV. We'll see you tomorrow for more Chicago Now. Have a great rest of your day.
When you hire
Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at Noon.
Now at noon, the National Guard may soon be on the streets of Chicago. We'll hear from state and local leaders on how they're preparing. Jeffrey Epstein, victims speak out on Capitol Hill as the push for answers in that case continues to grow stronger. And we've even got some rain creeping into the forecast. See those gray and cloudy skies out there. Even see a couple of drops on our camera. Mike is here to tell us when we would need to dodge those raindrops. Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us.